Welcome to the Dancing Oracle with Najia for a special personal year numerology series. Viewer request to have their numerology done for themselves. So I'm doing videos because I can't do all your numerology readings via comments. And I have a lot of knowledge of numerology from the tarot, as well as some knowledge from astrology, but mostly from tarot. But so much numerology information can be found with the help of Google and Siri and Alexa will help you. So I taught you in the first video how to calculate your personal year, which was your birth month, your birthday, added to personal year, to the universal year number 9, which is 2025. And then you would come up with whatever year you are. All right. So I know one of our favorite celebrities on this channel is Keanu Reeves. And he is going to be having a personal year number 2 in 2025. He is just coming out of the personal year number 1. So if you are a big Keanu fan, you can listen to both of those videos. Um, the number 1 to find out, more about what he's been going through and what he's about to go through, as well as all of us who are personal year number 2. So, personal year number 2 is drastically different in momentum than personal year 1. Okay, because the personal year 1 was so much change, fast pace, everything happening. Ride the wave. You got to catch it. You got to plant the seeds. You got to do this. You got to do that. Well, personal year 2 is a very detailed, slower pace. The manifesting part takes longer in a personal year number 2. Personal year number 1, you manifest. You are manifesting one thing after another. You have the flow and the support of the universe there, right there under your feet, right there at your back to help you. And that's why I urged anyone who was experiencing a personal year 1 to really ride that wave. Now, in the 2, because it's partnership year, it's relationship year, it can also be the soulmate year. It could be the year that you meet your soulmate if you've worked on your issues already in the previous number 2 year, which was 9 years ago. If you're experiencing another personal year this year in 2025. All right, so what are the main themes with, we have relationships, obviously, with a 2, just like tarot, partnerships as well. So not just intimate relationships, but partnerships and diplomacy, right? Balance, the scales balancing things. And a lot of cooperation is key. It's about considering other people's ideas and accepting help from others. Whereas, in contrast to what you just came out of, personal year 1, that was a very independent year. And you were really not looking at others. You're not meant to look at others, people in that year. You're meant to focus on yourself. In the number 2 personal year, now that you've done the work on focusing on your self-care, your needs, what you want to do, what direction you want, that you're meant to do in this life, now that you've already handled that, we hope, and you've done the actions to grow that, now's your chance to really to cooperate with others, to team up, and to accept help from others. Because in the 1 year, it wasn't so much about that, but you would find that support there for you. And this is a really good year to focus on your emotional well-being. It's a good time to nurture even more so, really nurture, not just self-care, what's important for you, but really nurture and foster connections with others. It's all about the balance this year. This year, you got to slow down. The 1 year, you go, go, go. You go, you ride that high wave, you go for it. 2 year is okay. I've been running myself ragged in the number 1 year, and now I need to slow down and find temperance, the angel of temperance, and find that harmony, find that balance in all areas of life. And, you want to create a deeper level of harmony. In the previous year, you're going with that flow, you got to ride it, you got to keep with it. But now you're like, well, let me slow down and find that balance. I need to step back a little bit and see, balance your sleep cycle would be a big one. And this is the year, because it is such a drastic change from the previous year, that you have to learn patience. Patience, yeah. And of course, diplomacy, because it's a 2 year. It's associated with the sign of Libra, being diplomatic, balancing things out, being fair. And it's a great year to network. It's a great year to network. It's also, as I mentioned, it can be your soulmate year. And this is my number 2 year coming up. And I've done the work. I've done the work in previous years, so I'm hoping to attract my soulmate. We'll see. So it's the year that you can build intimacy from connections. So you might be networking and one thing leads to another person, to another person. Who knows? You might meet your soulmate this year. And listen, if you do, if you are going into a number 3 year and you have met your soulmate in 2024, I want to hear your story in the comments. I read each and every comment, and I put a little heart sign with an emoji. Now, if you have a nasty comment with any inappropriate language, YouTube just filters it out automatically. I don't even see it. They have a new thing on there. I noticed it automatically happens. They have filters. I never saw it before. So, but pretty much everyone's comment I see. All right, and I do acknowledge your comments with the heart sign, whether it's, you may disagree with me, but I still put the love button next to it, just so that I saw it. This year can really intensify emotional issues and bring some challenges. So you may need to deal with some tension, right? Two things rubbing against each other. You may experience frustration and what feels like a lack of progress. Remember, you just came out of a 1 year where everything was going for you after things not going your way for so long, and you may have had a number 8 year not too long ago, so you felt that sense of empowerment, and then you let go of everything in the number 9 year, and then last year you were riding the wave, and now you're like, oh my God, it's coming to a halt, and I've been pushing myself too much. So the number year purposely slows you down. So you can't manage the pace that you were doing. There is a flow that happens in the number 2 year that will force you to slow down. Whereas the previous year, there were so many things happening, forcing you to have courage and go faster. Just keep up with the pace. It's really different. So if you're an emotional person, you you can really get carried away. You'll feel it. Last year, number 1 year, you didn't have time to feel your emotions. This year, you will be processing these emotions, and that's also why that's also why it's an intimacy year. You can be in a relationship because you have to process emotions and work with others, and hopefully if if you're already in a relationship, it can deepen your relationship. But if you're not in a relationship, you may find that relationship this year. And so I hope you understand that. And anyway, I'm going to draw some information now from a numerologist called Christine Delary. She will literally, I'm going to put her link in my description box so that if you want a numerology personal forecast in all areas for you, she is a numerologist. I'm a psychic medium and I read tarot cards and oracle, but I have different skill set than this. Even though I work with numerology a lot, it's you know it's better to go to her for those of you who really wanted a numerology reading rather than going to me. I just provide these videos where you could find an entertaining and free way to the source of information. Okay, so again, like she says that 2 year is a slow journey of connection, partnership, relationship, patience, and attention to detail. Big change from last year. Attention to detail this year. Cooperation, sensitivity, and gradual progress. Completely different than what you have been experiencing the last 12 months. I'm going to have a little pomegranate juice. Celebrate the season. All right. So, the number 2 year is an inspiring 12-month journey, which is part of your 9-year overall cycle. Well, you will find exciting connections between your past, your present, and your future. Eventually, you will be able to use this information to set an ambitious goal in motion. But make no mistake, what happens this year is going to take perseverance and, above all, great patience. First, now this may be a difficult one for some of you, like me. I'm in the number 2 year, and let me tell you, I know I need to slow down, but I find it difficult. So it says, first, you must slow down and stop pushing to get results. What you want will take longer to achieve than expected. So tone down any high expectations of yourself and others, and be patient, and pay meticulous attention to the details. It's all about the details and relationship in the number 2 year. You must learn to move more slowly, attentively, and with the mutual interests in mind, because it's a partnership here. If not, you will miss too many clues and connections to make any kind of measurable progress. Widen your lens, see the bigger picture, discover your connection to everything that is influencing your life. This is important because these years are they have certain vibrations to enable you to function certain ways within your cycle. So this is very, very important to slow down, see the bigger picture, and pay attention to details. Really. It may be difficult to slow down when you're sure you need to be moving faster, but until you do slow down enough to see the finer and often overlooked details of your reality, you'll have no idea where you've come from, who you're becoming, where you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, where you're going, or the role or the roles that others are playing in your life. Clarity is one of the principal gifts of a number 2 personal year. Just as long as you slow yourself down enough to be able to claim it. Try to accept everything that happened in your past and simultaneously live in the present. This is not easy, because we judge ourselves. But if you make this your genuine aim and do not struggle with the slowness of it all or repress the emotions that it triggers, the insight you gain will carry you into a future of your choice. Right? So this is that year you just slow down and you see, you gain that insight, you gain clarity in the number 2 personal year. Let go of all that stress by letting your emotions flow freely. Maybe take a belly dance class with the dancing oracle on Zoom. All right, that'll help you let your emotions flow freely. So once they've been expressed out of your body, you can relax. And being relaxed is being at ease with yourself. Dis-ease, also known as illness, manifests when you are not relaxed or when you are ill at ease. So if you hold on to stress and refuse to slow down, your body will become even more burdened by the pressure of the two cycles. Slower speed. This is a much slower speed and illness can result. Now, I can attest for that. I've been through hell the last 9 years with so many surgeries and physical therapies and occupational therapies, all kinds of problems because, of course, I didn't slow down the last time. And I was going through divorce at that time, it was relationship issues. And I was taking care of others too for so long, so I couldn't slow down and I paid the price. So listen, when these cycles come around, you have to go with them and you will benefit from them. But if you rebel against them, you will pay the consequences through illness to your body, through injuries. My big thing, injuries, and surgeries, whatever. Or cancer growing inside you if you repress something. Luckily, I didn't have that. So remember that stress is the pressure of feelings that cannot leave your body because they're being held in rather than expressed out. Hear that again. Number 2 people, number 2 personal year people. Stress is the pressure of feelings that cannot leave your body because they are being held in rather than being expressed out. So whether illness is involved or not, if you do not significantly reduce your pace and your stress in the number 2 year, the 2 energy will find a way to do it for you. Do not end up flat on your back like me in the past. No, this has happened on multiple occasions in number 2 years. Learn to go with the flow of the two. And the flow of a 2 year is to slow down and deal with stress. Find balance and harmony in your life. You cannot compete with the two because peace is its nature. Remember, harmony, peace, relationship. That's what a number two is about, you know? It's peace in your heart. Cooperation must take the place of competition. So there's no competition in the number 2 year. It's all about harmony, all right? So there's no need to push yourself. This is not the year to do that. If you do, the results you desire will not materialize in the way you desire. You're going to be working against yourself. But you will be amazed at what you can accomplish when you live your life at the same pace as the cycle that you are in. You may find yourself retreating from aggressive and stressed individuals, right? So if you cannot physically move away from them, of course that happens, you can only prevent their problems from becoming yours by relaxing and being in a patient frame of mind. This is the time of deep awareness, civility, and kindness. Cultivate kindness this year, right? Just think of that. Think of peace and kindness. It goes a long way. So, especially in this world, there has we need to cultivate more kindness. We've gotten away from kindness, particularly in the United States where I live. Sad to say, we need to cultivate kindness, get back to being kind and being civil and harmonious and peaceful. The world needs peace. So be a channel of that peace this year. If you're a number two, make yourself a channel of that peace. So when the journey gets confusing, imagine yourself standing at the top of a hill, looking down on your life and those people and situations in it. Just take that higher perspective, right? Like the Hermit in the tarot card. And it says, you will not be able to stay there for long because your down-to-earth presence is required this year. But this occasional perspective will help you understand the true nature of what's happening. The need for continued patience and the fact that other people's lives are more complex than your own this year. You're about to leave the human race, and what I mean, the race, right? The hustle bustle, and become the human being that you may have forgotten you are. Just develop mindfulness. This is the year of being mindful, just being and being okay with just being and not doing. Okay? This is a year to take it in. Like a cat relaxing in the sun. Just be happy within your own beingness. As your understanding of other people increases, you'll realize that even those who appear aggressive may be covering up great unhappiness inside. You will need to be tactful and sensitive to their feelings and find a way to create harmony. So even if you're the one who feels vulnerable and unsure of yourself, try not to respond with aggression or defensiveness. Be patient with yourself. You'll find it easier to be patient with others. A little lightness and humor will go a long way in easing this year's unavoidable tensions. So, in this number 2 personal year, correct timing and patience are major aspects. Your goals are either being taken care of behind the scenes. The universe will be orchestrating it for you if you leave it in the hands of your angels and guides by calling out to them and asking. Where if you become in your human 3D self, premature action cannot harm them, or they're dependent on other factors, which have, which first have to happen before you can proceed. So in the number 2 year, I often talk about the difference between 3D and 5D. In some of my readings, I did a 3D, 5D reading for Keanu's soulmate, I believe, and his love life or something, because it was requested, soulmate readings for him. So I did a 3D perspective, the physical day-to-day existence where you kind of push and do it, and just live your life, and by action and doing this and doing that, the struggle of life, right? And then you can live in a 5D perspective where you're in cooperation with the higher vibes, your angels and guides, you're operating from a higher sphere where that struggle is taken care of, because behind the scenes things are taken care of for you. I talked about one of my channeling teachers, Tara Arnold, I think it was, I talked about her in my Tiaras, Tea, Tarot, and Talks video. And she was talking about, the difference between the snowstorms that happen where she lives in Canada, how she has learned over the last dozen years or so to give it up to the 5D, to let her angels and guides handle it, her higher self handle it. And she doesn't have to work so hard in the 3D like she was. So she said, it's just so amazing. She says, her neighbors will be buried in snow. Their cars will be buried in snow. They can't open their door. They can't get out of their houses because they're buried in snow. But she says, just the way the wind, she's been so fortunate the last year when these snowstorms happen. Her car, the way the wind works, she can just walk right up to her car, open it. She doesn't have to do anything. She can get out of her door. The path is cleared for her. That's when you let that go into the 5D perspective. It's so interesting. And we're all moving. The planet itself is moving into that 5D, that higher vibration, into ascension. So it's good to learn some of those skills in this number 2 year. So, your goals can be taken care of behind the scenes. And patience does not mean merely putting up with adverse conditions. You must stand up for yourself when circumstances call for it, of course, right? You have to have your boundaries, but mostly this year is a year in which to quietly and conscientiously pave the way for future successes, right? This entails careful and tireless attention to detail, as really, really listening to what others have to say. Now, when you're listening, you're listening to the words, but you're also listening to what they're not saying. You can listen clairaudiently from the inner as well to get that deeper understanding, develop your psychic skills, develop your clairs, Take the emphasis off of you. Achievements will develop through teamwork. This is a great year to collaborate with others. This is a great year to work in a team, to not go it alone. Partner up. If you have a business, this is a good year to work with others, to reach out. Use your abilities in ways that will benefit others. You'll be able to move forward unless unless you will be able to, you will be unable to move forward unless you are patient. So you need patience in order to move forward. You just can't push through it this year. It's not the year. Unless you wait for developments to happen in their own time, and unless you relax your tensions and long concerns, you're not going to have success. You're just not going to have what you want. You just have to chill out. You'll you'll feel a need for more warmth and affection in this partnership here. So you may, you know, increase your romance within the relationship you're in, or you may find someone. So you also, you should develop some more warmth and affection, more acceptance for your feelings as well as for the feelings of others. Because true prosperity and security cannot be realized through like competition and aggression. Truth, peace, cooperation, and tolerance are now your only means of moving forward. From this quieter, more peaceful perspective, big difference from last year. You will find ways to change what you do not like. By living on a moment to moment basis, you'll understand that the present, being in the present moment, is your only exit from the past and your only gateway to the future. A very wise man that I knew said, Mary Needleman, a very wise, unusual, incredible spirit, definitely an indigo spirit. He said, all the power exists in the present moment. Pay attention to your body. And he would say, whatever body part you were feeling, is what would this body part say if you gave it a voice? And he would really guide you to embrace your power in the present moment. So the past and the future are connected by the decisions you make and the actions you take in the now. Okay? Now is where you have the power. This year, you got to quiet your mind, develop your intuition, and rely on it to make decisions that are right for you. Now, I do have an intuition playlist on my YouTube channel where I teach people freely how to develop your intuition. I talk about my experience. I give you methods to develop your intuition, your insight. This would be if you're a number 2 person, take advantage of my intuition playlist. It's all free material. I don't have anything separate for members on that. This is all my gift to you, to the world, whoever tunes in, wherever you are. I have people from all over tuning in, and I'm very grateful to know you and to hear how my teachings are helping you. So think about how you can tune in. Please tune in to my playlist so you can help others and help yourself. So you'll know if something is right for you about the way you feel. I mean, literally feel in your body, right? Going into your solar plexus, going into your heart. How does your throat feel when you say something? How do you feel? So despite the slowness of the 2 year, you'll be making significant progress by slowing down. It's not a race kind of year. You heard about the tortoise and the hare, right? There's a famous story about that. You may want to read that. So slow and steady wins the race, okay? Not racing, all right? You'll become more sensitive to the metaphysics, right? To the alchemy of life, and be able to sense reality rather than rely on what others tell you reality is, right? I told you about the 3D and the 5D. right? So you may experience intense flashes of intuition and inner knowing. This may be the year of strange dreams, all right? Write them down. Don't be afraid of them. They're trying to tell you something important. It would be a great idea to keep an ongoing record of your dreams. Write them down when you wake up. Just have a journal right next to you with a pen. I feel so badly that the younger people in America, they're not learning penmanship. They're just typing nowadays. They don't even know how to write in a journal. They don't even know how to sign their name. So there's something about the connection of the mind onto paper and the flow of ideas from your subconscious. So being able to write cursive connects you to your subconscious realm so much easier than printing or, God forbid, typing. You're you're not going to have that expansive awareness that you would learning to write script. All right. So if you can, please do it in script, cursive writing. All right. So no matter how abstract or bizarre these dreams seem, if you write them down, you'll see a pattern emerging, that will give you valuable insight into the issues of your life. So when you recognize and feel the nurturing energy of the number 2 personal year, you'll want to relax into it. So you'll get better at it as the months go by. And remember that the way the personal year works, I talked about this in the first video, where you learn how to calculate your personal year. Although there's different schools of thought, some people say your personal year starts with your birthday and ends with your birthday on that year. It's been my experience. I've been paying attention to this for a few years. I see a radical change that happens literally on the 1st of January of the new year. Now, there is some of the themes from the previous personal year dissipating and filtering into January and February. And as you head toward the end of the year, you're going to start leaning in, especially that last month, into the qualities of the next year, which would be your number 3 year. So you're going to feel some of the 9 still slipping away in January and the 3 coming in late December of 2025. But you're going to feel the shift. It's been my experience that the personal year changes on the 1st of the year and ends on the 31st. I keep studying this. I follow what I do. I follow and ask my friends. It goes right along with that. And most people, most numerologists will agree that it does start on the 1st of the year. Okay. So anyway, you just want to, the peak will happen at your birthday. So if your birthday is in January, you'll experience the peak of this number 2 energy in January. If your birthday's in June, it'll be an incline up to June and a decline. Some of the energy will dissipate toward the end of the year. If your birthday's in December, it's a slow, gradual accumulation of that number 2 energy. So you'll find that's how it works in relation to your birthday. All right. So just relax into it. You're going to eventually calm down from your number 1 year. All right. You're going to calm down from that. You're going to relax into it. And you're going to want to flow in it because this is a gentle state of being carried along. Just imagine floating down the river, just being gently carried down the river in the sunlight, and your understanding of freedom and love will expand. And you'll know that aggression and denial of reality have almost killed our capacity to think, feel, move, and enjoy. You know, don't just slow down, just enjoy. This year's events will show you that free will is the next step of human evolution. Without it, we're enslaved. So you really have to be in tune this year. This year's distractions, delays, and diversions are designed to develop your power of patience. So each situation contains an important lesson or opportunity. All right? Patiently assess everything that's going on around you and inside you. Learn to feel and sense your way through life instead of forcing your way through it or going into denial. Be sensitive. Little efforts required when it comes to personal ambitions. This year's progress of delay and intrusion is actually helping them along. If you do succumb to frustration and surge ahead, you may force yourself into the wrong place at the wrong time, and you'll need more diplomacy to get yourself out of the mess. So again, teamwork, partnership, right? It's highlighted, right? You're likely to have a specific role to play within a group, partnership, or relationship. Be diplomatic and considerate while you figure out what these people have to teach or show you. Some will be teaching you how to, while others will be teaching you how not to. So cooperation is key. Just right now, you were in the leadership role last year, but right now, learn to be comfortable in the back seat role. It may be difficult to see someone else taking credit for your ideas or efforts, or, being in the limelight. But you may even feel that someone's deliberately keeping you in a subservient position this year. So if anger arises, allow yourself to feel it, preferably when you're alone. Get it out of your system. Do not confront people unless you feel it's absolutely necessary. This is not the year for it. Listen to what your anger or any other feeling is telling about you, and you will soon understand why your circumstances are as they are. Let the other mirror let the others mirror something that's going on within your subconscious that you need to deal with, that you need to find out and explore. So you just can say, hey, what's really going on here? And then, hear all the fear and judgment contained within there. And, there's a strong intent to feel what your feelings are telling you this year and activate your intuition. And once you activate the intuition to provide the answers that you seek, there's no need to lose dignity or be a doormat in order to cooperate. I'm not saying that. Don't be a doormat to keep the peace. That is never good, okay? So this year, you do need to speak up for yourself, but there's a way to do it. And there's also, don't engage with people who treat you like a doormat. That would be, if you can just get them out of your life, don't engage with them, right? Then you don't allow them to treat you like a doormat. But you can also carry yourself in a way where people don't mess with you, all right? Because this year, you're developing a confidence and a grace that will allow you, to be calm, right? And work efficiently, without becoming enmeshed in the drama, right? In other people's dramas. Your ability to notice, like, because you're going to pay attention to the details this year and take care of them. And that will make you respected and indispensable. This is a very powerful position to be in, but don't become so indispensable that you can't walk away, from a bad situation or change it, If you do not develop a warm and willing attitude toward others, you'll find that your main experience is nervousness, conflicting relationships, blame, guilt, anger, fear, being oversensitive and insensitive, right? And feeling unrelenting criticism. So you have to become really self-aware this year in relationship to relationships, right? In relationship to others. So if any of these bad feelings occur, you may be trying to control another, or you may believe that others have the power to control you. So interacting with others in this relationship year, in this year of balance and peace and harmony, requires you to feel, I emphasize the word feel, their singular presence, to listen not only to the words. Remember, I talked about this earlier, not to the words they're saying, but the overall message they're trying to convey. So listen to what they're not saying, like think outside the box, see and feel outside the box. So you see them in their entirety instead of focusing on just like one aspect, to become more aware of how you are connected to them. So even the slightest act of control or manipulation is likely to work against you. Remember, just chill, go with the flow. So in the 2 personal year, you must release your control over others, or break free of the control over you, right? Don't let them control you. You'll discover how much more loving and lovable you have become in the process, because you're being true to yourself. Last year, you learned about the importance of your individuality and independence. But this year, you'll learn that everyone is operating according to their own unique energies. Everyone has their own story to tell. Everyone is of equal importance, and everybody feels. The way we treat and relate to others affects feelings and behavior and the quality of life. So this 2-year is going to make you more aware of patterns of behavior, right, that impede your freedom or someone else's. So you're going to become more self-aware of these patterns. And in turbulent times, being able to tolerate and understand and cooperate is an extremely valuable talent. And this is your year to show just how well you are at this, how talented you are at this. So we can look at something else. We can look at if your 2s are derived from the number 11, right? Because 1 and 1 equals 2. Now, 11s are master numbers. So if you, for instance, like me, my 2, as well as Keanureeves' 2, is derived from the master number 11, because 9 plus 2 equals 11. So a lot of times we don't reduce the number 11. We acknowledge it as its own thing. But it also breaks down to a 2, which is why your personal year is 2. But there's like a little subset to the 2. If your 2 broke down to an 11, and a lot of people who have the number 2 as their personal year, it will derive from an 11. So 11 is the number of illumination. And when it occurs as a year number, it seems that you can see things more clearly, mentally, emotionally, and physically. An 11 year increases your empathy and your overall awareness. Remember, 11s are the angel number. You might even start seeing 11s all over the place, or 1111 in an 11 year. So remember that 2 is the product of 11. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So therefore, it works with the 2 energy, not instead of it. So throughout the 11-2 year, the 11-2, the 2 is always present, whereas the master number 11 energy occurs less frequently, but more intensely. So 11 provides more light, more clarity, and more incentive. It opens up the imagination and provides inspiration and innovative ideas. 1 is the number of the individual, the self. And because there are 2 ones here, other individuals are involved. 11 provides the means to connect. This is why it's your partnership relationship year. It's through the 11's power of connection that 2 is formed. So if we think of the number 10, that takes us to the next level. When I draw a lot of 10s in the tarot, 10s are always an ending and a beginning, because 10 is the end of a cycle. But if you add 1 plus 0 equals 1, you're at the next level, the new beginning. So 11 reminds us that we are so much more than we've been led to believe we are. In 11-2 year, 11-2 year, right? You realize how unfulfilled you have been, while your potential for personal growth expands considerably. The 11-2 year is full of connections and possibilities with others. To be successful, it's best to approach whatever you're doing, whatever you're working on, to approach, especially with others, to approach it as a partnership rather than a competition. Definitely. So that can happen in the work field, so really focus on harmony and partnership. So focus on what you have to offer rather than comparing yourself or comparing your progress to others. So you can make more headway this way. So in the 11-2 year, 11-2 year, you may become indispensable to someone or many people. And this gives you an uncommon power. But discretion is essential when people entrust you with their private concerns. So you must also be careful that the reliance on you does not consume so much of your time and energy that you have none left for yourself, right? Remember that you have to nurture yourself in this year. And this is an important year to not only have harmony with your relationships with others, but we have the Lover's card in the tarot, and that card represents not only the intimacy with another, but the intimacy and that partnership, that balance between your male and female natures, finding that wholeness, that completeness there through the duality. So I really hope that you're enjoying this series. To make the most of it, again, go back on, check out the video for the number one personal year to see if it matched up with what you've been experiencing this last year. And also check out number three. That's coming up a year from now because you want to see where you're headed and how to prepare yourself. And also let me know in the comments if you just had a number one year, how true was that for you? And did you take advantage of the energy? Did you intuitively know to ride that wave? Are you feeling the need to find more harmony and balance in your life as well as slow down this year? Are you exhausted from the number one year? I am. Trying to find a way to slow down and keep my commitments up, especially with this YouTube, making videos every several videos a week. It's really not easy, but I'm entering my number 2 year. So I'll do my best for all of you who are enjoying my videos. I'll do my best. I do have to find my balance. And please give a thumbs up. It's important for the algorithms for people to find me. And if you want to become a member, there's information in the description box. If you want a reading, if you want a psychic reading from me, I'd love to do one for you. That information is also in the description box, or you can just write a comment asking for that information. I'm happy to put the links there for you. So take care. Uh, have a wonderful, wonderful year full of blessings, peace, and harmony. Thank you.